Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tokyo FinTech podcast. Today's guest is Masuda-san. He's the chairman of the Japan Security TokenE Association and the chief operating officer at Blockchain Hub, which is an incubation and venture studio to help Japanese corporates apply blockchain technology. With that, welcome Masuda-san, and may we please ask you to introduce yourself briefly. Thank you.
My first career started at the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and I'm in charge of the sales and marketing of heavy-duty power station, like gas turbine or steam turbine system for the large power station or some large iron mill. And for 6 years, then I went to UK to take the MBA at the Cambridge University. Exactly the year I landed to the UK was exactly the year the great financial crisis happened, 2008, right? So everything, the world has changed. It was a good opportunity for me to change my mind and move forward. And after the MBA, I entered Accenture Japan and do some management consulting for the resourcing industry. And after that, I moved to SMBC. I did some global project financing for some power generation project, like a copper mining project, or oil and gas project. It was pretty much exciting, a huge project. And I had many opportunity to fly to the many countries, Middle East, Africa. And the last 2 or 3 years in SMBC, I'm in charge of some open innovation promotion in Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation or Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group. Specifically, I was in charge of setting up SMBC Group Silicon Valley Innovation Lab, in charge of the alliance with Silicon Valley Venture Capital Fund. So in that experience, I bumped into the blockchain or cryptocurrencies, and I found a huge opportunity of potential of that technology to promote innovation, not only in the financial sector, but also the whole industry. 2018, I stepped out from SMBC, a large financial institution, and position in the startup industry, particularly first in Blockchain Hub, which is a company running the blockchain community for the large corporates or some entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneur candidates, and also offering the educational opportunity for the business person. In 2019, the security token or digital security technology business rising, obviously that is kind of exciting one. And I found that could be the one of the killer apps to promote blockchain's implementation to the society. So we set up the Japan Security TokenE Association to first educate the industry. What is a security token, or what could be the potential, what is the landscape, what is the future, and also build a community for the corporate. Not only the crypto blockchain companies, but also more wide, like established real estate company or the financial institution or So far, it is pretty much successful. Now we have the 20 corporate members in JSTA. Pretty much exciting. And even that current Corona situation, I believe the future of some blockchain or security token should be somewhat promising, I guess.
Super. Obviously, we had the changes coming into effect, partly rewrite of the virtual currency, which is now crypto asset regulation, and then the security token regulation effective May 1st in Japan. Can you share your perspective on how that has developed and where you see the opportunities now?
First, talking about Revra by Facebook. Yeah, that is a kind of the door opener of this digital currency movement or some CBDC movement. Thanks to the Revra, everything, all government official or some private sector realize that could be something we need to consider. And obviously, Chinese government digital yuan project is now moving much faster. Probably the other countries' government officials should follow somewhat. That is something very much interesting. And also, digital security, the security token, is not the kind of technology only for the crypto, the geeks, more for the financial sector, really. So I guess we would see the second rise of some innovation in financial sector. Obviously, a few years ago, due to the FinTech rising, the financial sector's innovation is promoting very much first. I guess this security token technology would change the financial landscape within coming few years.
And with the JSTA, where do you see the primary interest from the members? So obviously, anybody could issue digital securities token now, and it's not only the financial industry. So everybody in corporate Japan could be thinking about this as a way to raise money, right?
Obviously, security token project should be highly regulated under the regulation of legal framework by the financial authority or other government officials. It's not a free ICO world. It's totally different. corporate equity or some corporate bond. Obviously, that is a traditional securities, but also like fractional ownership of the real estate or art or any fund. Some of the established securities brokerage company are focusing on some equity or some corporate bond for the first use cases or using security token or digital securities. But also in the future, new product like some bourbon whiskey fund to be tokenized. That kind of new product will be placed in the market, I guess, in the future. Well, actually, the new regulation for the STO or security token has just implemented. So probably this year we would see 1 and 2, 3, 4 use cases, and we would see how the framework could be improved or changed in the good shape to do the security token business in the right way. Next year or coming years should be the year that we would see the more projects coming.
I think that's echoed in many of the commentaries that the legislation change is very comprehensive and not everything is fully defined, so there's room for interpretation. Ultimately, the industry, together with the FSA as a regulator, needs to work out what all these rules essentially mean. And as you say, probably be a slower start this year and some initial projects. And once people get comfortable with the interpretation, then maybe next year we'll see a takeoff.
I think the slow movement is good for some reason, because the 3 years ago when ICO booming, everything moving first, and many scams coming to the market, and many people lost money. Actually, most people outside of the crypto industry understood that kind of crypto or some blockchain technology is a kind of scam technology, right? So that is a poor misunderstanding. I think the slow implementation of some new technology or new product, new landscape could be the right way to make the world changing in the proper way.
Agreed, and make the industry more efficient. The way the categorization works right now, where you have securities token being type 1 securities and requiring a type 1 financial instruments business operator license, has a bias towards the established securities broker dealers, right? Would you expect that once the regulation is better understood that you'll see new players coming into the market as well?
Yeah, I expect to see the more people coming to the market, but probably this year or first few years could be the established current player would play a huge role. But if other companies see how this technology could be used for the new business landscape, more player could enter into this market. And obviously, security token is not necessarily securities. Definition of securities is pretty much broad and somewhat vague and different country by country. For example, some financial product which is not categorized as a security under the current legal framework could be tokenized using the security token technology. So that means the new financial product that happen and could be available for the people. So once that happens, more global players entering to this market. So that is one of the excitement.
One of the areas where tokens, especially non-fungible tokens, have taken off is the gaming industry.
Still, that gaming industry using the NFT is still immature and only for the limited number of the early adopters. Ubisoft is now focusing on the blockchain technology to develop some new game product. And perhaps in the coming years, if the blockchain technology is realized as something in the mainstream technology, established gaming company could enter to the blockchain gaming industry in the future. So, and in that context, security token, a digital security concept could be implemented. That is another, exciting one.
Yeah, especially in Japan, gaming is huge. Among your members, you have both Securities and TokenE solutions, so two of the infrastructure providers. Are these, say, your favorites, the top picks in that base, or you're looking to onboard more alternative providers to have more choice? What's your view on the support infrastructure that's available today?
Yeah, obviously, we understand the Securities and TokenE is big name, and obviously Securities, they attracted Japanese investors, and that is well known. And TokenE is are based in Luxembourg, and they also doing a great job in the security token. More tokenization platform is now coming to the market. Tech tokenization market is now coming to be more busier. And obviously the Japanese security token industry is just started. So we need more maturity of the technology or some use cases globally. We are happy to have more people working with JSTA or more broad security token industry in Japan. And we could do some support assistance for that effort.
When you look at the regulation as it's out now and what is available in terms of the support infrastructure, are there any obvious gaps that you see, especially from a Japanese perspective?
This could be kind of general viewpoints, but obviously the legislation or legal framework is different country by country. At this moment, Japan does not have a tokenization platform focusing on the security token. And Securities is based in US, TokenE based in Europe. It's not straightforward for the global player to adapt the Japanese local rule or some request from the financial authority. Obviously, KYC or anti-money laundering restriction is very much something they need to follow. And the platform should offer crypto exchange or financial institution to make it possible to do the compliance work under the platform. Still, compliance needed under the fiat transaction and compliance for the crypto or crypto asset or some token business is not much. So we need more maturity of such compliance technology, compliance application, a compliance platform will be needed for this security token industry to make this more mainstream.
What are you hearing from people like maybe at Japan Exchange Group? How are they looking at securities token as an opportunity or as a threat?
I guess every crypto exchange found this security token much promising. Obviously, at this moment, the JSTA and also JSTOA, led by SBI, doesn't have any crypto exchange members. Anyway, we need security token anyway, the crypto asset. We need the crypto exchange support, also the crypto custodian to do the custody services for the security token holder or security token brokerage company. Crypto custodian could play a huge role in the security token industry, I guess.
So you mentioned the JSTOA, it's called. What is your relationship with the self-regulatory organization that is now the JSTOA?
JSTOA is a main association mainly for the brokerage company. I understand it is led by the SBI and other internet brokerage, security brokerage company. That is the association for the brokers. But a JSTA is open for any industry. At this moment, we have the brokers, security brokers, various company, fund, and system integrator, custodian company, and our members are varied. JSTA is a kind of ecosystem covering the all player related to the security token industry. So we are not competitive. We would like to be a supplemental relationship to form the security token business in Japan.
Makes sense. And I think when we had the cryptocurrency associations coming up initially, we had two competing associations that included many members outside of the exchange operators as well. And then the FSA said, if you want to become self-regulatory, it can really only be the exchange operators. So it makes total sense to have the Japan Securities Token Offering Association as the self-regulatory body, and then the JSTA as an ecosystem builders. I mean, it's two sides of the same coin and just can work well together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's maybe switch gears a bit and talk about blockchain hub, because I would be interested in your perspective of blockchain broadly in Japan across industries. What do you see from the broader blockchain hub perspective for adoption of that technology by Japanese corporates?
I would do some quick introduction of the blockchain first. Blockchain Hub was a company founded in 2016 before the crypto or ICO boom. So we are focusing on the implementation of blockchain technology to the real business. And we have three business. One is education for the business person or business, large corporate. And for example, blockchain academy, including the business perspective, tech perspective. And second one is corporate membership. And we are supporting the large corporates to do some new business development using blockchain technology. Currently we have the 17 corporate members, including the Deloitte Thomas Consulting, IBM Japan, Mitsui Fudosan, and so on. Third business is a business incubation. We are supporting the entrepreneurs to set up their business, and we are supporting the fundraising or some business modeling or the marketing perspective. So those three. In that context, we have so many opportunities to be involved in the business development using blockchain technology by corporate. Recently, more and more companies are coming to be interested in blockchain technology to add usage of their business development. At the foundation that blockchain has, some of the early adopter Japanese corporate coming to us to ask some support. At the end of last year, some new second wave of the Japanese corporate coming to us to do some business using blockchain. Coming year, we would see more use cases or practical use cases using the blockchain technology. Obviously, supply chain is one of the big use cases, food trust or some trade rents projects. More and more projects we would see. And under the corona situation, digitalization is something we need to seriously consider. And the blockchain technology would offer some benefit like traceability or some transparency or record keeping. Under the big wave of innovation, blockchain is one of the very much promising pieces in coming years.
When Japanese corporates come to you, are they open-minded as to the protocol, or have they already settled on a technology that they want to build on and they need help in bridging the business problem to the technology?
First wave of Japanese corporates coming to us is sticking to some specific protocol they preferred. But second wave, they are not have any specific preference about the protocol or some specific technology. They are more focusing on what the value provided by the blockchain itself or the crypto technology. They are pretty much open-minded now. They would see more how that could be commercialized or monetized. But still the blockchain or crypto technology is something difficult for the most of the industrial sectors. And also cybersecurity or hack still big threat for the blockchain related business. So I guess custodian business or some blockchain analysis business, which is offered by the microscience analysis elliptic, it could be more important.
Understood. Where do the corporates get the talent from in terms of blockchain engineers and also maybe even the business side, people who understand what is possible with the technology, but ultimately kind of finding engineers is very hard in Japan, and finding specialized blockchain engineers is even harder.
That could be the big challenges for the, well, not only Japanese corporates, but also global players. Many universities offer some blockchain specific courses, or some developing countries like Vietnam or have the huge resources of blockchain engineering. So we would see the more young blockchain engineer coming to the market in Japan. Also, we would leverage the human capital outside of Japan. Resources, coding or engineering resources is a big issue for the coming years, I guess.
From a Japan perspective, we're obviously looking at China always quite a bit, half with excitement and half with bit. But now we mentioned earlier a bit the central bank digital currency, but they're also coming out with their national blockchain network, that's BNS. Do you think China moving this fast will also be a catalyst for Japan to think harder and make decisions faster on some of these technologies?
China played a big role and could be the leader in blockchain implementation in the sector. Considering that China is moving first, anyway, US and Europe and Japan need to follow that advancement.
Let's go one step further back in time in your career. As you said, you were with SMBC and setting up the innovation lab in Silicon Valley. I was curious what your experience was in that. So SMBC as one of the three megabanks, a huge organization, and obviously making some commitment to innovation, but an innovation lab in sheer numbers of a smaller team. And what is the ability of an innovation lab? And many of the big Japanese financial institutions have innovation hubs or innovation labs outside of Japan. What is the ability to then influence headquarters back home in trying to think about new technologies or new business models? What's the recipe for success in making that work?
Wow, there's not a magic recipe for the success. Silicon Valley Innovation Lab or IT Innovation Department I was in is a small organization in the large banking corporate. But we were the kind of the team gathered from the varied background, not only in the department in the bank, but also like me, joined from outside, consulting, banking, IT, system integrator, startup, many. So they are pretty much open-minded and flexible. We had a number of meetings with some sales team of the corporate banking team or some system development team to find what is the fundamental pain points, what could improve, and what is the customer value. And we had a serious discussion, and from that we found what kind of technology, what kind of business pieces would fit or fill the gap. It's a very long way to make something happen, but we had varied partners in Silicon Valley or Israel, New York, all over the world. So leveraging that relationship or some database of a startup or the new technology, we placed the right pieces to fill the gap. SMBC senior management seriously considering how the banking business or SMBC should change to meet a market request or client's value. Silicon Valley Lab is supervised by the really top of the senior executive. That would be one of the key success factors at promoting the innovation within the large financial institution. Obviously, that company is huge, and so some challenges or some hurdles were there. But we carefully handle the innovation work.
The crisis that we're in now, the pandemic, maybe less people visit bank branches as well. So maybe that's another catalyst to becoming more digital and do some more of these services online and without the person-to-person meeting.
Yeah, obviously I found some news saying that many people coming to the branch with unnecessarily something. The one of the key issue is obviously the mobile banking or internet banking could be the one of the solution to achieve the social distance at the bank branch. But elderly people or some people having not sufficient IT literacy could not use the mobile banking and internet banking. So better user interface or user experience should be implemented to push further the usage of the mobile banking or internet banking. But under this corona situation would help the UI UX development to happen.
Wow, I think we covered quite a lot. Is there anything else I should ask that I haven't asked?
Anyway, blockchain or crypto technology is something, I believe, that something changing the world. And some people said, look, blockchain is only for the Bitcoin. But as I mentioned, the security token or supply chain or some product using the feature of blockchain like traceability or some transparency would rising soon. And the last couple of years is a kind of starting, just a dome of the technology. So we would see the second wave of real implementation of the blockchain technology, considering what happened at the rising of the internet technology.
Agreed. So it's really early stage. Also a fantastic opportunity for Japan, I hope, where arguably we're a little bit behind in digitization, right? There's still so much paper, especially in financial services. And rather than just digitizing an existing process and using robotic process automation to have it done faster, blockchain would really allow a complete rethink of how the business is done and essentially to leap over that development stage and really go to the latest technology. That would be fantastic. All right. Thanks very much for taking the time. It was a great conversation.
Thank you.